Hello, everybody, and welcome to a mock draft madness edition of Real Hawk Talk. I am Brian Nemhauser. You can find me on Twitter at HawkBlogger, and this is going to be kind of fun. This is going to be fun. It's not going to be kind of fun. It's going to be actual fun. Last year, Jeff and I were unreasonably obsessed with the draft and did dozens, if not maybe embarrassingly, we might have been in the hundreds. I don't know. We did a lot of mock drafts and folks seem to like it. I know that Jeff and I did it because we were, we were obsessed. If folks get benefit, great. But people were asking, when are we going to do another episode? So we're doing an episode. And not only that, but we have a new and improved version where Nathan Ernst is joining us. Nathan has been one of the draft obsessors in past years. He didn't have as much time last year, so we didn't get as much of his draft insights, but happy to have him aboard. And before I bring Nathan and Jeff in, just a heads up, we have started memberships on YouTube. It's something that is pretty cool and unlocks some special features for on YouTube for specific members. In order to do that, though, we have to make memberships meaningful. So we are unlocking this episode for everybody. Everyone gets access to everything. There will be times in the future where this type of show will have a members only chat, and you have to be a YouTube member for the show to participate in the chat. There may also be private versions of this where we do it just with a few other folks and have live conversations with other people. So if you haven't already, this is a great time to join as a YouTube member. As cheap as I think it's $2.99 a month. So not a big deal to get involved. And I think a way to additionally support the show as well. All right, let's bring in the fellas. Nathan, we've had remarkably frustrating challenges just being able to hear you speak. So I'm going to hold my breath as I say, Nathan Ernst, how are you today?
I think I'm good. We'll find out based on how much feedback of various kinds there are on this show today, I guess.
Yeah.
But I've even maybe potentially made some upgrades to my microphone settings and system here. So hopefully back and better than ever.
I think you sound pretty good. I so far so good. I'm not going to count my chickens, so to speak, but I like the start. And then Jeff Simmons at Real Jeff Simmons. We are operating more in an appropriate time for you than normal here at 4:00 Pacific on the West Coast. How's your house, dude? Am I allowed to ask that on live?
Yeah,
Video?
it's coming along. We're fixing our basement. We had a flood. The person overseeing the job is not moving at the speed I would like to. So it's hard to be patient because the insurance company had to give us our contractor. We couldn't pick our own. So I'm not the most patient person.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to have Nathan here. Unlike John Schneider, Nathan's made some upgrades. So, but it's weird. Yes. We don't have 4 picks in the top 40 this year.
We are probably not going to be quite as obsessed when you don't have that kind
of pick. I still think we will.
That was a lot of fun. Especially when it's not just your pick. It's like, oh man, we get to spend somebody else's money. Before we get into the mock draft portion of this, we should get some house cleaning out of the way. We'll do more of this breakdown in the official episode of Real Hawk Talk on Wednesday night. But the Seahawks, 2 bits of news broke within minutes of us going live here. The first is that the Seahawks have signed an offensive lineman. They have signed a guard like we've been begging them to do. They signed Tremayne Anchrum. Tremayne Anchrum. He is a former Los Angeles Ram, a former 7th round pick, 250th overall, right there close to Mr. Irrelevant. And you say, well, so what? Doesn't matter where you get picked. What have you done? Maybe he's shown up in the NFL and really made a name for himself. Well, in 4 seasons, he has played 101 snaps. So No, he has not done anything of note in the NFL. In the snaps he has played, he is not graded well by PFF standards. Take that for what you want. If someone else has a better measure, feel free to share. But very little reason to be enthusiastic about this signing. And then almost immediately after this signing was announced, it was announced that Kevin Zeitler, our number one overall free agent priority that we all talked about, signed a 1-year deal with the Detroit Lions to go there. And I can't help but think that they're related. I can't help but think that this might not have been a situation where John Schneider didn't want him, but perhaps that the player looked at the situations and said, I think I might be able to win a ring in Detroit. I'm 34, and I don't know that that's realistic going to Seattle. So I don't know. Let's take some quick reactions from you guys on this, because this will obviously affect the mock drafts we're about to do. Nathan, any initial thoughts on these 2 bits of news?
I know like it doesn't matter at all, but it does feel bad to lose out to Detroit in the, hey, who has the better chances to win a ring? And I mean, he wouldn't be wrong. I mean, Detroit, obviously, very good team, but it's Detroit, and so it's just wild to think about it like that.
Yeah. Jeff, anything to add?
Yeah, I'm definitely a little jealous. I've been writing all the people for years, like, how are we going to fix this interior O line? It's been an issue that's dated back really 3 offensive coordinators now. They brought in an OC with an O line background, and this was really their first guard signing. And the Zeitler thing hurts because he just fits so seamlessly. But yeah, I'm definitely a little jealous of Detroit and the way they build their offensive line and they value it. And Zeitler, they lose Jonah Jackson, who got huge money from the Rams, and they just put Zeitler in there, move Graham Glasgow to left guard, and their offensive line could be better than last year. So I'm definitely a little jealous of how Detroit values that position versus we all heard what John Schneider said about guards last week. There was a lot to that. And I don't think that guy they signed is. Remember, they didn't have a left guard on their roster. So I think that guy's probably a backup. Their starter more likely comes from the draft. But, man, it doesn't look like that interior O-line is going to be a strength by any means. It's probably going to be a weakness again. And they're probably going to just go into the draft with that guy. And it's not how I would have liked him to handle the spot.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, they do have Raekwon O'Neal, and they have the other guy. I always forget the 2 guys that they signed last year off of practice squads from other teams. So they do have some other guys on the roster that we might not know about, maybe are better than we give credit for. In general, I really expected the Seahawks and John Schneider to say, hey, Anthony Bradford, he started last year. We're going to build with him, and that we're going to add 1 more guy. That's what I expected. It is not what I would have done. I would have liked to have seen them sign a veteran free agent and then go into the draft and add a guy that can compete for a starting role. And then you've got potentially to take what was a weakness and turn it into a strength. Now you're just hoping that you have like a passable group that can make it through the season. Like the chances that you're going to turn that guard room into a strength feels far-fetched. So let's turn our attention to what they can hopefully do about this. And guys, with mock draft madness, there's a lot of ways to go about this. And one of them, and so I want to get your perspectives on this, because we're going to do a few of these. We're not going to just do one mock draft. We're going to do as many as we can fit in the next hour or so. One is we can go through and do one draft here based on what we think John Schneider will do. Not what we want or what they should do, but what we think John Schneider should do, or will do. Like most likely the Seahawks, knowing what John Schneider values, that kind of thing. I also think it might be good for us to do a set of drafts where each one of us plays GM. and the other 2 are critics and reacting to those choices. But no collaboration, just each one of us makes the picks. And then if we get through all of that, I think it might be fun to do some different draft strategies of like, hey, this is our goal for this draft. Here's what we want to try to accomplish, and then try to go through it and figure out how that would work. If you guys have other ideas, anything that comes up for you, let me know. I am going to, because we've used it the most, I'm going to start with PFF. I have ready to go what I think is the second best mock draft simulator, at least from my experience playing around with them and with the experience of showing it online. As the second one, which is the mock draft database. I know everyone likes Pro Football Network. I personally think that's a really hard one to watch live. It just takes a long time. So we won't be doing that one. But we're going to start with PFF, and let me share my screen. And people should absolutely voice their opinions in chat with us. So let's go and share screen 2. And that's probably a little too small. All right. So first draft through, we are going to be the Seattle Seahawks. We are going to have a little bit of a mix between the public and the PFF board. Otherwise, playing it straight. And our goal for this draft is to be John Schneider. What do we think, knowing their strategies? Let's debate it. What do you think that they'll do? All right. You guys ready?
Ready.
Let's go. All right. So first thing, before we get to the Seahawks pick, let's look and see what happened up above. I've actually seen this in a few different draft simulators where Caleb Williams does not go one and Drake May does. And it's kind of funny because most places, the most kind of conversation right now is that Drake May might be below JJ McCarthy, and like all the scouts are up in arms about why Drake May is not higher. But anyway, there's JJ McCarthy going 3rd. Joe Alt going 4th. That seems wild. Jaden Daniels continues to be like one of these really polarizing prospects, right? Are you guys seeing that? Yeah, I
He
mean,
seems
like
a wild card to me, but I don't know. We also talked about this in the group chat a couple weeks ago, and I think the consensus of most folks was that he's a top 5 lock. So
yeah. I mean, I think it's most likely that 4 of the top 6 picks will be quarterbacks. I think that's where things seem to be trending, which is fine. That's probably good for the Seahawks. You know, the other locks, top 10 seem to be Marvin Harrison Jr., Roma Dunze, Malik Neighbors. There's arguments about those guys, but really is irrelevant for the Seahawks. Where it starts to get relevant for the Seahawks is when names like Jared Verse pop in there. This is a guy that, you know, obviously I've been talking about for a long time, and not surprised he's becoming a top 10 pick kind of guy. Fuaga is another guy we've talked about a lot. Byron Murphy, we've obviously talked about a lot. He's been climbing into the top 10, top 12. Dallas Turner's a guy that's kind of been pushing down, and in some of these drafts I've done, he's been available at 16. Interesting. A name we haven't talked about as much. He had obviously a great combine. And then Brock Bowers is another name. There's some situations where he's around, and we would have an interesting conversation to have. But in this case, the Seahawks are at 16. This is a pretty standard set of guys available. And one of the ones that we have not talked about almost at all is Cooper. Is it DeJean or DeJean? Anybody
like the
know?
mustard.
Okay. I'll go with Cooper DeJean. So he's listed as a cornerback here, but there's a lot of folks that think he's a safety and can play either. And he was a pretty much a top 10 lock before. He's moved down. Quinyon Mitchell's another guy who was moved up the draft board quite a bit. I think he is mostly just a corner.
Yes, he's a corner.
So I don't think corner makes much sense, but I do wonder about safety. Do you guys wonder about that? Like, do you think Schneider's taken Earl Thomas at 14? Mike McDonald was part of his first year as DC. It doesn't mean he was the guy taking him, but their first pick was Kyle Hamilton at 14. The Seahawks have Julian Love on the last year of his deal, and they have a 30-year-old Rayshon Jenkins on a 2-year deal. They don't have really any foundational safety. Do you think there's a chance that they would be tempted in this situation to pull the trigger on a guy like Dijon?
At 16?
Sure.
No chance at 16.
No chance. Why do you say that?
Because the value is just awful. They could trade down. They could take a bunch of safeties towards the end of the first round. The people on the board with Newton and Fantano, even Olu, that's taking a safety there would be not only absurd, but just doesn't fit Schneider at all.
We are talking about the guy who traded a couple firsts for Jamal Adams and recently defended the trade, though.
For sure, but Jamal Adams they viewed as like a top 5 player.
Sure. I guess I just don't know if it is that crazy to think that they would. Now, I mean, you can make the argument, oh, that was Pete. And maybe it was. But I don't know that I think it's crazy that they would look at. I personally didn't quite get it with Dijon. But if they did, I don't know that they would think 16 is too high necessarily.
Yeah, I think if there was a safety that was like a Kyle Hamilton type, that was a top 15 pick, I think for sure. I just think in this class, there's no value that fits here.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. We do see Fautanu. We see like guys that we've talked about, but let's think about John Schneider. Well, I know we're going to talk trade back, so like set that aside. We'll do that in a second. We'll do that in a second. But from a player value perspective, what has John Schneider taken in the first round? He has taken offensive tackles. He has taken edge rushers. Those are the primary 2 positions he's taken in the first round. We have seen him take a linebacker in Jordan Brooks.
Safety. I mean,
he has taken a
Earl
safety.
Thomas and Jamal Adams.
Yep. They've taken 1 wide receiver last year, so it's happened. It hasn't happened often, but it's happened.
I guess Malik McDowell was close to a first round.
Early second, but yeah. They've not taken a defensive tackle in the first round ever. They've certainly not taken a quarterback ever in the first round. So just going by past history, like, is there an edge guy or an offense? Like, does it even make sense for them to be thinking offensive tackle in the first round? I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. I think the thing with tackle is, one, positionally it's questionable. They have Fant. Maybe Fant can slide inside. They have Lucas. Lucas has his knee thing, but you have Fant. So tackle feels a little bit, and like I'm surprised to see Olu down here. I thought Olu was more in the top 10-ish lock range.
A lot of places have him in the top 10 for sure.
So maybe something like that would change the math. But like I don't think I want to. I don't know that they're going to be so impressed with Fontenot that they're gonna sit at 16 for him.
Yeah, I mean, Latu's a guy that I could imagine Schneider getting enamored with, but I don't know if I see him sticking at 16 for him.
I don't know if there's the bodies there. They have so many edge players already.
They have the bodies, and then the thing with edge is like Latu, Chop Robinson. There's another guy kind of in that mold a little down there too, right? So like, if you do want to go that route, I don't think you have to sit at 16 to do it.
Yeah. What John Schneider has said around defensive tackles, and then we'll get into the trade and we'll start moving around. We'll move a little faster, but I want to take a few beats on this first pass. Is defensive tackle is a position that he knows that you have to draft in the first round to get the guys, the good guys that he talked about, and you have to be high up to get them. Is there a chance he sees Johnny Newton as a guy that he would stick and pick and not trade back for?
I think so. Especially in this scenario where Murphy's gone. Like those two are the clear top of the class to me. Um so but there this draft has been really weird for me trying to go through this. There are a lot of interesting second round guys. Like we were talking about whether Michael Hall. I don't think he's in these guys of the class, but he's also very good. And so to me, I know between we're doing the John Schneider draft. Ooh, I lost all my. I'll fix my camera in a minute. Sorry there. Between doing the John Schneider draft and knowing how much he likes to trade down, and just how the draft feels like it's going to fall, at least with these simulators, I think it just makes way too much sense to trade down.
Yeah. All right. Understood. So let's look trade options. And by the way, I've been talking to PFF about trying to get their trade situation fixed, but thankfully in this situation we do have a decent. Miami is actually one of my favorite targets recently because they have 55. I think that's a pretty good place. Another one that I've been looking at recently, I don't know if it's listed here. I've been looking at the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if you guys have seen that. 33 and 39. Like,
what do you have to throw in though to get that?
You'd have to probably throw in. You definitely would have to sweeten it, but like 33 and 39 would be a pretty sweet get in this draft. I think that would be a big deal if they could figure that out. But let's just assume, how far down you guys want to go. I mean, the Vikings are not an option because they don't have a second round pick. You could go Chiefs. This is another thing that we've seen. You could try to go 32, 64. And I think you could do just that for 16 and very likely get it.
See if we can get that Miami trade.
Let's do Miami. All right. 21, 55, 16. Let's just do a simple one.
So just force it.
You want to just force it. All right. We'll force it. I'm going to throw in a sweetener. I'm going to throw in one of our.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Okay. There we go.
So
that's the dream trade scenario, though, right? 21 and what is it? 21 and 55?
55.
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
And so you didn't really. Would you lose Fatano?
On the Rams? Well, the Rams aren't going to take.
They're not going to take. Well, they might take tackle.
So the order here, like where the players are going, makes no sense in a lot of these picks, but it doesn't really matter because it just matters that the players are off the board.
Yeah. All right. So let's pretend in this situation we would want to trade back again.
Fashanu on the board, 21.
Right. Let's just say based off of John Schneider, not based off of what we want, on John Schneider, what do you think the most likely pick would be here?
Trade down again.
We'll stick a pick. So with that in mind,
I mean, to me, Newton and Fashanu are the two that are the clear. Like they seem a class above everybody else. There's a drop off for those guys, so you have to think it's one of those two. And if you're looking at just fit, then or need, it's Newton. But I don't know. Part of this is I don't love Cooper DeJean, so PFF has him as the 8th best player in the class, and so. And there's a need there, and John's shown the willingness to take safeties high.
Jeff, who do you think Schneider would take here?
Johnny Newton.
Okay. We're going to go with Johnny Newton. And we're going to play it out here. It's going to go a little faster now. We're at 55. So the Seahawks have not really addressed a need so far, which is part of Schneider's new strategy that's worked well for him. He's taken the best player, which generally like. But now they're at 55 and they don't pick again until 81. So who's next? I mean, you could make a case for wide receiver here from a value perspective.
Is Junior Colson still there?
Junior Colson is there.
Yeah,
Do you think that he would go? I mean, he's spent a lot of second round picks on linebackers. That's where Bobby Wagner is picked. have this.
That jumps off the page to me.
The
They
guy
have
that
two
they might,
linebackers on 1-year contracts.
yeah, the guy that they might love though, if they do think this is the range for receiver, which I don't think I would like very much, but Leggett is kind of a DK clone. I mean, nobody's quite DK in terms of athleticism, but he's super like rocked up, athletic receiver.
23 and old. I didn't expect that
old.
from you, Nathan.
Is he
but
a
I guess
sophomore?
you're not playing yourself. You're playing
there's another Gamecock old Gamecock wide receiver that I loved once upon a time, Debo Samuel. So
fair. So again, thinking about Schneider, we just got on and started talking about the fact that guard was going to be a priority too. Do we think that he would not be looking at guard in the second round because he really hasn't drafted guards early?
I would like them to, but I don't think they're going to. I think linebacker.
Right.
I think linebacker with the 2 1-year guys. I think that jumps off the page to me.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, Posick went around this area.
He did,
but they drafted him as a right tackle.
Yeah, they had ideas there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's on table special.
Let's go ahead and do Junior Colson because I do think that's plausible given his draft history and their situation. So we're going to draft Junior Colson. And so now you're in the third round, and you still don't have your guard. You do not have a starting guard. I would have to think that start like. He says he doesn't want to draft for need, but I don't know how you don't look at guard at this point as a need.
Guard, safety,
like Cam Kitchens is a guy. Now I don't know if you, these are two guys I've looked at a decent amount. Mahogany is a guy that, I mean, he definitely has the mauler side. He's an old for sure, almost 24. But I mean, this is a Schneider type of guard. Mauler can't pass protect to save his life. I personally like Mason McCormick better. They don't have any numbers on him, but blew it up at the combine physically. I think is a more interesting player. He has gone small school. I mean, Schneider's gone small school at times, so I don't think it's crazy.
Dominic Puny, some people have said, is a guard.
I haven't seen much about. I mean,
I think he was on
terrible name value here.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone named Puny who's been in offensive line.
Yeah, he's the power profile to earn a rotational role at guard. He played guard last year, and he had displayed poor pad level. That sounds like a Seahawk.
Okay. All right, so we're thinking guard. Do we think that that's probably what they would do here?
Yeah, this is about the range, but Nathan seems like he's going a different direction.
No, I mean, with McCormick, for a small school guy, I don't know. I think that's going to be. You can usually like price in a full round discount on guys that aren't FBS.
And Schneider didn't go after Cody Malk last year. You know, I don't know if that was related or not, but another small school offensive guy. I mean, safety is the other option. Safety or guard. I mean, and you can get. I almost, to be honest, I almost like the guard. Like it lists him. You're talking about Cooper Beebe and Zach Zinter and some of those guys. You can get them later in this particular sim than I do these guys even.
Yeah, so like if it's not guard, then what would the alternatives be? Like who are the safeties? Who are the
it gets real thin at safety after Kitchens. I mean, I'll pull up safeties just so you guys see what's here.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think, and then if you look at guard, I will say this really quickly. I heard Rob Rang on Ian Furness's show, and he was, for people that might not know, Rob Rang's been doing draft stuff forever. The Seahawks this year have actually asked him to be their draft writer on Seahawks.com. I don't think that's necessarily connected at all, and I'm not saying he's getting any inside information, but I do think it indicates that he's had a pretty good read on the Seahawks, and that's what I've found over the years. He has a pretty good read on their needs and their players they liked. He said, even before today, that the Seahawks, I think, really see that interior O-line is a deep position in this draft, and that they're probably looking at that as a place where they can get somebody. But
so then, like, who's the edge that's still out there? Who's the linebacker that's still out there?
well, they just got Junior Colson, so they don't. I mean, they could take another one, but I don't think it's as critical. Edge. I mean, I don't know. Solomon's an interesting guy. I don't know if any of these guys are worth not taking a guard. So let's take a guard here, just to move things along. I think that's a decent probability. I think wide receiver is another like outside chance.
Corley guy has some like Anquan Bolden style.
Who's that?
Corley, he's up in the top there. Malachi Corley. He's been compared to Anquan Bolden.
Interesting. I haven't looked at him yet. Yeah. So 2 years at running back and then became a receiver. Well, anything compared to Anquan Bolden or Deebo Samuel will always be someone I'm interested in. All right. What are we saying? What do we think Schneider likely to do here? Like, not like, what do we think most likely?
I think they take the safety.
You think they take the safety?
I think there's so many guards left, and they're up again. They have the second pick of the 4th round.
4th round is the most common round for them to select a guard historically.
Yeah. And I think there's still numbers there. And the safety numbers are shit.
Nathan, you
good? I don't know anything about Kinshins is the only thing.
I'll do a quick show for folks here. Younger guy. Basic knock on him is just he's a little lighter. So, I mean, you're talking about a 205-pound dude. So he's not going to be the guy that comes up and hits you, but he is going to make plays on the ball. So let's go ahead and take Kitchens. And then next pick, guard. Interestingly, Nathan, Michael Hall is available in this.
Whoa, really?
All the way down here. So when you get a chance to be the GM,
a lot of those guards are gone. Wow.
Well, it might be that they just don't think that they are. Yeah, Cooper Beebe's still available.
Fits right in, yeah.
So we've got 102, 108, or 118. So Beebe.
Yeah.
I love Winter. Can we pretend like they have some?
Yeah, Beebe's not going to be here.
With medicals and
when is Zinter going to be back?
I don't know, but you would think Mike would have pretty good insight on what his whole situation is.
All right. So are we saying because we can take advantage of this sim, we're going to take Zinter maybe with the 118th pick instead of 102?
I don't even think it's like taking advantage of the sim. Like top of the 4th feels reasonable for a dude coming off a pretty nasty injury.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to just take him here?
Yeah, I think Beebe's going to be a top 50 player.
I don't know. We'll see. All right. So we've taken our guard, and now other positions.
Tight end.
I've been finding tight end to be a position you really can get later.
Yeah,
but
I like Eric All though.
Tell me about Eric All. What do you like about this guy?
I mean, Iowa tight end, he can block. He's what you think an Iowa tight end is pretty much, but he's pretty nifty with the route running. Like I haven't watched a ton of him, but he is able to make pretty good cuts, and seems like he has a good feel for how to get open, at least in, short routes and stuff like that. So I think he's kind of cool.
So the thing with where I am with the tight ends is I don't know Eric, so you made a good case for him. I like not he's Sano, whatever his name is. He is an H back, so he's a little bit more flexible in what he can be, a little bit like use checky. Theo Johnson like a lot. I think AJ Barner's a really decent blocking tight end if that's what you're looking for. You've got your Noah Fant. Tip Ryman I like a lot as a blocking guy. You don't need this to be your number one tight end. That's what you signed.
If we're drafting a Schneider, they're gonna look at the numbers and they're not gonna say we're taking one of 6. They're gonna say there's 5 of those guys left. Let's go somewhere else. That's how he goes.
That's how he goes. I agree. Although he has taken a number of tight ends in the 4th round. Like this is where Nick Vannett was taken. I think where was Colby Parkinson taken?
4th round.
Yeah. I think they're going to I disagree, Jeff. I think in this case, I think that they would stick and pick and take one of their favorite tight end.
Hopefully they learn from the George Kittle thing.
I wonder if Theo Johnson would be their guy. Crazy athlete, really good blocker. He's a little older, but like Mike McDonald would know him well from his conference.
Yeah, I guess he'll know Ali well, I guess, or all well.
I definitely would know Barner well. I would make the case for Theo Johnson that would be the way they'd go. Do you guys have a strong feeling any other way? All right.
I've watched the 3 quite a bit, and I like all the best, but I like Johnson too, so I like all of those guys.
He's still there. For whatever reason, in
the tight end
here, like Eric All is like available in like the 7th round. I mean, I don't know why. All right, so let's just make these last couple picks quickly. You know, special teams, it's probably like linebackers, more safeties.
Why is Caden Wallace so low all the time here? What don't people like about Caden Wallace? What's the deal?
Oh, there's an athletic center.
I don't know Caden Wallace. Dude, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. I watched him like as a tackle. I kind of get not loving him, but like if you're thinking about him being a guard, he seems kind of cool. I don't know.
I don't know. You guys make this pick. What are they gonna take? Pick a position.
I think the thing though down here, what gets so hard too about the 6th round is 1, like I haven't watched a lot of these guys, and 2, it's not the basketball player, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about Jalen Green as a late edge guy for them.
Who are the linebackers?
They have not drafted an edge in this particular draft. Linebackers, let's look. I do not like a lot of the late linebackers, at least in this.
Like
Steel Chambers, I think, is like a 0 option. The guy's slow, and I just don't think he makes sense.
I don't get why Jalen Ford isn't rated higher than this. He's always down here too. I like him quite a bit.
All right, you guys tell me what you think he's going to do. We're going to get these last couple picks out of the way.
I think something like
Jeff, you make this call. Wait, sorry, Nathan, did you say something?
Oh, I was going to say something like linebacker or safety, something where you get the special teams values. Like,
yeah,
that's what I was going to say, or some flyer at edge where you have some.
Let's take Jalen Simpson. It doesn't matter unless you guys have some safety.
I don't even know who he is.
Let's look real quick. Let's take a quick sec. 6'1", 178, cornerback background. Versatility is a free safety, 2 deep safety systems. I actually think that sounds
that sounds right. A little bit like that.
I mean, he is light as a feather, dude.
178.
Light as a feather.
Maybe not.
Let's take him.
Let's take him. Like he's not.
We are
like
not going.
We're
spending too much time on a 6th round pick. All right,
Eric
last pick.
Eric All.
No, we're not going to take Eric All because that's just ridiculous.
Fine, we need an extra tight end.
He won't be available then.
Fine.
That's just
Dominic Hampton. We should have just waited for him. I feel like that might be theirs.
He's an interesting guy. I like of the UW guys, I like Ufolocio. He showed up really well as a special teams kind of guy and athlete.
All right, let's take him.
Yeah.
All right, done. All right, so this is our John Schneider draft. Impossible to take our own opinions completely out of it, but John Schneider moves back. That's a typical move. John Schneider move. Takes a defensive tackle, his first defensive tackle ever in the first round. I think that's the most questionable John Schneider choice that we made in this draft, but I don't think it's crazy. Junior Colson, so they got their linebacker. Cam Kitchens, safety. They got a injured guard, so I don't know that Zinter's going to be ready to be your starter. It's a little questionable. Theo Johnson, I think, makes sense, and then the last two. I don't like this draft.
I don't love these safety picks.
It feels very,
good.
Yeah, I'm with Nathan. 81, I was pushing for it, but I think it just leaves a hole in the draft to me.
All right. We're going to switch over because I want to try this, the draft sim here, and we're going to do, each of you we're going to take a shot, at least one shot of doing this as each of us as a GM. And Jeff, you are going to be the first person on the board as a GM. And if this ends up being a really crappy sim, then we'll just go back to PFF and deal with it. I mean, they're all crappy in their own ways. But I thought this one, played with it a little bit more today. I thought some of the results were a little bit more interesting than what I was seeing with PFF.
And how are the trading? How are the trades?
The trades are interesting because they will come with offers, and then yes, they actually have a nice little thing where it will tell you how close you are to having an acceptable trade.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. So Jeff, you are up, and you also, a nice thing about this one is you can. So I'm going to close this. I'll come back to it. It will show you who's been drafted already as well, so you can kind of see who's off the board. And then here are your offers, Jeff, that came in. It doesn't mean that you don't have to take one of these. So the 19th and a 5th to move back, basically a 5th to move back 3 spots.
No.
I'll just, yeah. These are silly. We're not going to do any of these first round for next year stuff.
I really think we're tanking. Wow.
So I assume you want to trade back.
I want to trade back. I hate that gap from 16 to 81.
So who do you want to target? Do you have an idea?
Philly.
Okay. They've got 2 second-round picks. I think that's a popular one to consider for this. And which second-round pick do you want to go after?
Let's go after 53.
53. So you have to add more. You're trying to get this guy to the middle.
So what about one in the 6th?
I don't think that'll move it enough.
Okay, let's see. Let's see 118.
Just barely moves it. And I think this is real for folks that might like. I think it's going to be hard to get a second.
102 creates another gap.
So let's do a quick thing here. If you did 1 and 3, you could move down 6 spots and then move up.
20. That's a pretty good trade.
Almost 30.
Yeah, let's do that.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Done.
Then I'd consider moving down again.
All right, Nathan, how do you feel about that trade that you just made?
You probably could have gotten 50, right?
You want to try to get 50?
I mean, seems like
all right. Why not? Let's move up 3 spots.
Oh, God darn it!
No,
hold on. I'll get it back.
Typical John Schneider, not maximizing all the value. He can't. Oh, you can't.
Oh, you can't get 50.
All right.
That's stupid, but whatever.
Done.
I'll take that trade.
Done. All right. Now, Jeff, do you want to?
No, I don't want. Actually, I'd probably do that trade.
Do you want to make another deal? You were at.
I do. I want to move down now to Green Bay.
Okay, you want to trade again?
Yeah.
You want to go to Green Bay? Okay. So you want to trade 20 for 21 or 25? And what do you want to try to get?
I get 126. Or
you just want a 4th rounder to move down 3 spots?
What do you want to get? 91?
I think you could get. I think you could get maybe the third.
So try 88.
Try 88. Yeah,
All right, so let's do that.
done. Okay.
All right, let's make a pick here.
All right.
Troy Fautanu.
There you go. Are you done? That's who you're picking?
Yeah, Troy Fautanu. No
Easy
brainer.
choice. All right.
I don't think he'll be there, but he might be a top 10 pick.
Yeah. All right. So you are now picking at 53.
I'm a Junior Colson guy.
Junior Colson, done.
He's my guy.
And we're waiting till your next pick.
Yeah, this is a bit of a gap, but I'm very happy with how I've gone.
Wait, we'll move back 7 spots to get a 5th round pick.
What happened there? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to look at that one?
Yeah, I would do that pick. I would do that.
Do you want to see what other offers there are?
No, I don't
Yeah.
want
Okay.
to.
Yes. Do this.
Let's do that.
All right. Done.
All right, get out of there.
Okay.
Wait, but move back 2.
Yeah, that was a crazy trade.
That was not realistic, I don't think.
No.
Okay, so scroll down a little, see what we got here.
What are you thinking? So you've got your guard, tackle, and
I
your
would
linebacker.
take Jalen Polk here.
Yep. Okay. I like the way you're handling this so far. I have no notes.
No, this is not realistic.
A 3rd round pick?
Those are just insane. All right, so if it was me, I would probably take more interior offensive line. I don't think they will.
No, but this is you. This is you.
Okay,
as the
scroll
GM.
down a little, see what we got here.
Do you want me to just look at IOL?
Yeah. No, we can get Zinter a little later or McCormick.
See, but they have Zinter more reasonably ranked.
So give me Zinter.
Van Pran, here. Like, isn't he usually? Why he's slipped way down here in this one? Huh?
Yeah, that's where I was thinking initially.
Well, no, you're drafting at 102. In the last sim, he was at like 150 in the ranking or whatever.
Yeah, I would be between Van Pran and Zinter here.
Okay, so you're Zinter?
No, give me Van Pran.
Van Pran.
We're not handing Olu a job in my mock draft.
Okay, I like it. Here we go. Van Pran, A+.
Yeah, Nathan agreed with that one. All right, and we're gonna keep picking here. Go to all. No, I don't want Rattler.
It's tempting to be.
I know.
They already have Rattler at home.
Yeah, Howell and Rattler. Is there any tight ends here? But we can. I want a tight end here.
You want a tight end here? Okay.
Maybe not in this mock draft.
No. They really don't like your
yeah.
What
about safety?
Safety.
No, don't like.
I don't love Hicks.
It's funny. Sione Vakis shows up as safety in all these, but he's a running back at this point.
Yeah.
So people see him.
What about linebacker again?
Linebacker. Yeah, they have Ufolocio higher, which is where I think.
Go to the top of the board again. Yeah, I'm just gonna take Rattler at this point. The value's too good.
I think that's a good pick. I mean, if Cleveland can have 4 quarterbacks on their roster, we can certainly have 3, can't we?
It's a free shot at this point. Ooh, Rosengarten just went. That was my next.
Yeah, Rosengarten is like. I feel like not enough people are talking about him. I think he could end up being like a 4th round pick.
So go to tight end for me here. We're gonna go with Tip Ryman.
Yes, I love that pick. Huge fan.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I'm not letting you trade 6 round picks.
Taking that trade.
I'm not letting you do it.
What are we looking at?
Safety?
You go there. Dominic Hampton's a little early. I'm going to take him later. Okay, we're going to take him later. Go back to all. Scroll down a bit. Just keep scrolling. God, whoa, the dark ages.
Brendan Coleman's you got too many interior, but he's an athlete at guard. What are you thinking, dude?
Give me we're gonna good edge.
Actually, have you done any you looked at Lamea at all?
No.
Guard draft.
He's also an interesting guy.
Yeah, we got another.
All right,
let's take Lamea. Let's take Lamea. I want more guards.
All right.
I want more shots at this.
Done.
I want another tight end. AJ Barner.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. And then we're gonna end this. Is there any linebackers or safeties?
All right, there's your last pick.
Ooh, Frank Gore Jr.
Oh, I like it. You know who we haven't picked in any of our drafts is McCaffrey.
Yeah. We're taking Frank Gore Jr. just out of spite.
I want them to take Brendan Rice.
We're supposed to take running backs.
Nathan, tell me what you think of Jeff's draft. What's your reaction?
Weird draft, man.
Why is it weird? Use your word.
I mean, I like the idea of, going offensive line first, but you're talking about, so that first pick, he might not play. I mean, he might be buried behind Lucas.
No, he'll be my left guard.
Yeah, I guess. And then I love Coulson, but then you got Polk, who also kind of might not play. Van Pran, I like that. Rattler again,
loaded up our bench.
Then you get more guards. One tight end I think is cool. Two tight end maybe feels like a little bit much, but I don't know. They usually roster 4, don't they?
It's not love bad.
It's just
I've definitely not addressed the defense at all. I've really addressed the offense. I think that's the whole. But I'm happy with the value I got. Our O-line is fixed. We got Fautanu and Van Pran potentially as 2 starters.
All right.
We got our Tyler Lockett replacement.
If you're following along in chat, please give Jeff's draft a grade, a letter grade. What letter grade would you give Jeff's draft? Nathan, you get to choose. Do you want to use this mock draft simulator or PFF?
Let's do this one.
All right. Restart.
Right. You got to beat me now.
Jeff, I expect a lot of critiques on Nathan's decision making.
I'm taking all of the trades where you trade a 6 for next year's 4th.
We're going to end up with so many picks.
He has every pick in the 7th round. All right, dude. Here we go. Your big time. Nathan Ernst, the new GM of the Seattle Seahawks. Oh my God! There's no way I'm letting you take that. Oh wait, no. That's 2 second round. They're not even offering you a first round
and a first next year.
Yeah,
the greatest trade ever.
I mean, I will let you take it if you want. I think that's stupid, but I'll show you. I'm not going to let you take the 2025 deals. So these are the offers, but you can also make your own offer.
That's a bad trade.
This?
Yeah.
Moving from a first round to only having second round picks at 50 and 53.
Plus, it's 2020 plus the 2025. Yeah, next year's first.
Yeah. Yeah. You would what do you think there, GM Nathan?
I wouldn't do it, but it probably on value is the right thing to do. Or at least I think. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not going to do it.
All right. These are some of the guys available. What is GM Nathan doing? Is he looking to make a trade back? Is he looking to pick?
Yeah. Can I trade back? Who? Rams have 19. Is that right?
Yes. Rams have 19. Miami's at 21. Philadelphia's 22. I think Green Bay is another option. You can go way back.
Why don't
into
I
like
go
the.
back to 19? Let's see what the Rams will give us.
You want to look at 19? Okay. Trade. We will look at the Rams. 19, and which you want a second round pick?
I mean, I guess I can't. Let's see what they say. But I'm guessing that's 83 actually that we'll get.
So you tell me what you want to offer, or what would you want to try to get?
19 and 83.
Okay, let me reset that real quick. 1983, pretty close. Do you want to sweeten it or do something else?
If we throw in like a 6, that's not going to do anything, right? Yeah, that's not, okay. What is?
I think you could probably throw in a 4th and do it, but I don't know if you want to do that.
Feels. So move back 3 to move up 30.
30.
Yeah. What if we give him 118? Oh, sorry. Can we try one more thing? Can we try 16 for 19 and 99?
Yes.
But without giving them the 4th. Huh. I think I want the extra pick. So let's do that.
Do this?
Yep.
Done. All right.
I'm not taking any of this. I'm taking Byron Murphy.
You're taking Byron Murphy.
Yep, we're done.
Woo!
Nice.
All right, A+, baby. That's a strong start.
Feel good about that.
You're getting a potentially top 10 player. I can't complain about that.
But you didn't get a second round pick. I don't know if I like that, Nathan. We're going to see how that turns out for you, dude.
All right, we're not taking any of this either because we're taking Junior Colson.
Oh, Junior Colson at 81?
Yeah.
Yeah, geez, this is falling pretty well for you.
So I did
I
address
Junior Colson. Go ahead, Jeff.
My draft looks a lot worse. Nathan just fixed 2 levels of our defense.
What are the other offers here for this one? Is there anything else?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
These are 2025 picks.
No, I don't think. No. Okay. No, I think I'm gonna just probably stay. All right. What do we have for guards?
It's thinning out.
Can you scroll down just a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is a big difference between PFF and this one. The guards last. This one, they go fast.
Yeah.
What's there for edge?
Dorless is an interesting guy. Have you looked at him at all?
I only looked at him when he was like talked about as like a borderline first round pick, and I did not get that.
Yeah.
I should go back and watch him again.
I don't know as much about Murphy. I've looked at him a little bit too.
He's available in like the 7th round in some of the other ones.
Yeah.
I like him though. He's pretty good. But probably not here yet. Can we go back to all?
Yes. You got your tight end options here, Mr. Stover.
Yeah. I don't know why Stover. I like the other guys better than Stover. He's interesting, but what about safety? Have you guys watched Cole Bishop?
I don't know much about Cole Bishop.
He is one of the softest players I've watched in.
Draft him? Is that what you want?
No, God no.
This grade gets an F.
All right, Nathan.
Man, this is tough.
Clock's ticking. Blake Corum, running back.
Kind of tempted to take Dorless here. Maybe
we take Dorless?
Maybe we take that Ravens trade though. All right, let's take Dorless. Let's do it.
Dorless is done. Another A+.
Plus.
So you've got 102. This is an offer to basically just get a bunch of extra picks.
Mm-hmm.
Move down 12 spots for a 6th round pick. Move down 17 spots for next year's 7th round pick.
That's the worst offer I've ever seen. Do not trade with San Francisco.
That's
I don't-
interesting, though.
I don't
Double
allow
fourth round.
I don't allow trades with
Okay,
the
okay,
49ers.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Um,
All right, let's look at the tight ends.
You're basically like, this is 3 picks from where you were, so it's the same guys that were there pretty much.
Yeah. Let's do Theo Johnson.
Theo Johnson. Nathan is really
So right now we're
nailing
starting
it,
our
yeah.
boy Ansham and Bradford at the interior O line.
No, why don't we take Zinter here?
okay. You're not even tempted by McMillan?
Not really.
Okay. Makes sense. Jeff, I don't know, man. He's kind of crushing it.
Yeah, I like what he's done. My draft was built towards 2025.
I
If he
like
didn't take Zinter there, I would have been really nervous about the O line. That's
the Colson thing. I mean, obviously worked out really well.
That's
I
the
wasn't
part that
really...
just seems ridiculous.
well, you've made
I mean,
Murphy.
both of these are pretty ridiculous. I don't think Murphy's last until 19 either.
Well, him
Yeah.
and Olu were on the board though, so I figured trade back 3, and I got a good shot at one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leonard Williams and Murphy completely changed the look of their defense.
All right.
Okay.
What position are you thinking about?
Linebacker, safety, I think, are the big ones. Well, what's there for wide receiver though?
Yeah, it's very unlike Nathan to have not been talking more about wide receivers.
Ooh, won't make sense.
Classes are like really stacked at the top, and then just if you don't take one in the first 2 rounds, like, man, good
It
luck.
falls off a cliff. Yeah.
Yeah. So none of these guys. Any tackles that are interesting? Offensive tackle? No, not really.
Rosengard's still not. He's gone.
Okay. Let's look at safety. I don't know anything about Tyke Smith. He plays for Georgia, so he must be awesome, right?
I don't either. You want me to pull up a quick review of him?
Yeah, maybe if you got like the PFF one or something.
All right. Tyke Smith. Here's a Lance Zierlein review of him. Average
Whoa.
backup special teamer. Fast. Plays with NFL demeanor, but will be typecast in very narrow roles as sub-package safety with coverage limitations. Good tackler, interception. All right, interception production. Lacks height and length to create smaller margins for error. Tighten the hips.
Who else was there for safety?
Not a lot, dude. Dominic Hampton, it's a name we know.
All right, what about linebacker?
So here's a weird one. Josina Anderson tweeted during our show, the Seahawks are among teams showing preliminary interest in Randy Gregory.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, so let's take a peek at edge really quick.
I think that makes sense. He's a cheaper veteran edge guy.
I would have rather just signed him and not Daryl Taylor.
I think this is going to be my throwaway pick here because I really don't know, but let's go with Tyke.
With who?
With Tyke Smith.
Tyke Smith? Okay, done.
A+.
Great.
What a throwaway.
I'm not going to let you take trades.
Fine.
Too late.
Dylan Johnson. Joe Milton.
Oh, yeah.
Are you tempted by Joe Milton here?
No, just if for no other reason, it'd make Dana really happy.
Okay, you get an A for that.
All right. Sorry, go back to linebacker.
Linebacker.
Let's do Marith Leofau.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his.
Really?
Not a fan of his. I feel like he's not a good enough athlete.
I get that, but 192. What are you gonna do?
All right, last pick.
Malik Mustafa.
That's a great name. Wide receiver.
Taj Washington's not a bad name.
Like just as a name, or
as a productive
I was
receiver.
wondering too.
How
Who'd you like
about
for receiver?
can we look at wide receiver really quick?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The total. I like Bub Means. Give me Bub Means.
Bub,
That's the name.
strong
The
name.
new Bo
value.
Melton.
All right, Jeff. Tell me about Nathan's draft. How do you feel?
The value at the top is just like unbelievable. Getting Murphy with Williams and then Colson at 81 is just like pretty mind blowing. I think you got to go A there. I still don't know if you address the interior offensive line enough. I would have liked to see another pick, but the Dorfus value early is just so good. I think you really nailed the top of it. I'd say the only thing that makes me nervous is we didn't really address enough interior offensive line. But you see all those A's, just the value throughout the draft. You get the special teamers at the bottom.
And I feel like every time I do these, I look back at it and I like a lot of the players I get. Like I don't know enough about Dorless to really feel great about that, but I also am looking at like, just Zach Zinter, huh? Like I hope he's healthy.
Yeah.
So that is like a common theme with mine is I don't really feel like.
But like if you can come out of their draft with Murphy and Colson, I think no matter what happens the rest of the draft, you've already won.
Yeah. That's my only criticism of this draft is not the picks that you made; it's that they'll never happen, and you can't do anything about that.
You fail. Your draft was too good.
I don't think I could. Well, I'm about to be the GM, but I will just say I will not leave the first round without a second round pick. Like I can't do it because I just think that the chances that you're going to get that kind of quality player at 81 is too low. So that was my only criticism of you is that you took that chance and it worked out, but I don't think I would have taken that chance.
Like, let's say that the Junior Colson thing doesn't happen and you know that you're not getting Junior Colson 81. Would you have traded back farther and like lost?
Well,
Murphy?
if Murphy was really there, no.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because the draft is determined by like blue chip players, not if you're getting second rounders.
Yeah.
And Murphy and Williams can change their outlook. Murphy hits, like with especially Errol Donald and Armstead out of division, that really changes their outlook on the line.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will go quickly through mine and we'll wrap.
My offensive line is going to be dominant with Felton. So John will never do that.
This is how Brian would approach. This is Brian Nemhauser, new GM of the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm not interested in any of these.
Caleb Williams is still there.
Wait, what the heck? No, let's restart this. That's so stupid.
You idiot! You better draft Caleb Williams.
No, not gonna do this.
Rob State's head would pop up.
It's so annoying. All right, let's start again.
Okay, he went one there.
No, he didn't. He's still there, and now he's gone. Whatever. All right. Jared Verse is there, though. My two guys are there. So this is a nightmare scenario in some ways for me because Jeff, you know my perspective on blue chips.
Ooh.
The whole point of the draft is blue chips. And I think Murphy and Verse are two of the most projectable there. And you got Fautanu available.
Fautanu and Bowers. Ooh.
Yeah, and Bowers. This would be really challenging for me.
You'd be sweating sweat out.
I would have to look at trading back.
How far are you trading back here?
With those guys on the board, I feel like I can only go back a few picks. So I'm going to run the risk of going back to, I think it's Miami at 21, because I just don't want to trade with the Rams because fuck Sean McVay. I want to get that 55th pick. I'm guessing I'm going to have to give him 81. Whoa, and that still won't do it. So maybe I'll have to swap out one of the 6th with the 7th. Wait, that's still not enough. All right. Hold on. I want to
It's
get
not
that
crazy that
55.
Cincinnati would trade up, right? I guess it's
What's
the second
that?
round pick. Oh, I was thinking Cincinnati feels like a team that would trade up, but I guess you want that second round pick. So
I do. I want a second round pick. Now I could, if I'm going to trade back twice, one of the things I've been doing is kind of acquiring a third and then bundling it back to get a second, my second trade back.
Ooh.
Let's take a quick look
Philly.
at Cincy. So so I could get that third.
You're moving up one spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but I could do fuck this. This is so annoying.
I don't know if Cincy's far enough back. It's only 2 spots.
all these amazing players on the board, and you can't get anyone to trade with you.
All right.
There's too many good
I'm
players.
gonna go to Philly, common target. Should be able to get something done here. Let's go to 53. Yeah, I can't do that. I have to go to 81. Man,
Did they do that trade with me?
I thought they did.
They did. I honestly, I wonder if it's because there's like so many good players still on the board.
Maybe
they're gonna be less thirsty to move up.
All right, this is awful podcast watching to be doing this. So
Brian's struggling to make trades.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do this, even though I don't want to do this. I don't know if I can make myself do this.
Still moving up quite a bit from 81 to 55.
Yeah, but net negative on picks.
Yeah.
See, I was net positive on mine, just so you know what you're up against.
Yeah. All right. I'm doing this. I don't like it.
You trade down again.
That's what I'm planning to potentially
You just lost
do.
all your guys, yeah.
Byron Murphy's still right there.
Man, Byron Murphy's there. It's just so stupid. I'm going to keep doing this, though. So I'm going to trade back again. With
Detroit, Green Bay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to go back to what's Tampa got?
Try to get that third, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just do that.
Why do they hate Byron Murphy?
I'm not going to. I'm
not
not going to take him because it's just too stupid.
But did you see that Detroit talking about stupid things? That Detroit offer was insane.
I'm not going to take it. I'm going to try to keep this within the realm of reason.
Who's Dominion Robinson? That's Chop, I guess. Oh,
yeah, that's Chop Robinson. All right. So we're now at 26. Graham Barton is the guy that's on my mind as an interior offensive lineman. I think that might be a guy I would look at. Obviously, if Murphy was there, I would take him, but I'm just not going to play that game. I am not a Johnny Newton guy.
You don't even think he's a first round pick?
I think he is.
Oh, okay.
I don't love him. I just don't. I don't think he's going to be dominant. I don't think he's going to earn that first round pick. So he's not on my list in the first. I will say I'm tempted to trade back again, but I'm going to go a different way than anyone else would go. I'm going to take Graham Barton and get interior offensive line off my list.
You got an A still.
You
didn't take Penix.
Yeah, fair. Oh, no, there's next year. I'm not going to look at these really because we spent too much time on my first pick.
All right, so here's they have BB at 57. That's where I think he is.
Right, that's interesting, right? So that's closer to where you guys have been talking about him getting taken.
Is Junior Colson gone?
Let's look at linebacker. Yeah, it looks like Colson's gone.
So Nathan won the draft. Can't give him an 81. Now he's not even here at 55.
So
Peyton Wilson's there.
I would go personally. I would go Peyton Wilson, and everyone's going to say, "What the hell are you doing?" I like the freaky athlete. Although if I'm looking at his fit, I think he's more of a 4-3 linebacker than he is in 3-4. And so
that's a good point.
With that in mind, I will take Cooper. I think he can fit. So I'm going to grab Cooper, grab my linebacker. And we're going to go all the way down to 89. That's kind of interesting.
That's not bad.
7 spots for a 5th round pick. Come back to that. Oh, no, I would stick and pick Jalen Polk. Almost for sure. But let me take a quick look here. Yeah, for me, although, yeah, I like McMillan. So it's tempting to wait around a little bit, but what I haven't done here is defensive tackle. And I don't like Leonard Taylor. That's what I don't like about my draft already. Like, all the good defensive tackles are gone. Edge. If I don't pick here, what do I have left? Do I have a way to know that? Am I missing something? I can't remember. So I will take Polk because I'm just going to make this go a little faster. And then, if Dorless is there, I'm taking Dorless as an edge at that point. Then we go all the way down to 179. And so at that point, I start looking at tight ends. Don't have a safety yet.
You got the freak athlete center. Yeah.
I would take Lamea. I would add another interior offensive lineman. So I'm doing that. I'm ignoring trade offers. Then I would take Ulofoshio, to add another linebacker to the mix and a special teamer. Oh, don't go, Tip. Damn it. Don't leave me, Tip. All right.
Okay.
You get the freak running back.
Get the freak running back to piss Nathan off. He's probably a great special teamer, I guess.
Frank Gore.
Frank Gore.
That runs 4.3 and 230 at 235.
Jordan Whittington. Let's see. I mean, I haven't taken a safety yet. I might be tempted to go that direction. I've not taken a tight end yet. I kind of have to, for God's sakes. It's lean. I'll take him.
Okay.
All right. So that's my draft. I'm gonna save my commentary. Nathan, Jeff, how do you feel about this?
I have a hard time with the Polk picks for both of you. It feels like a guy who like might get like 15, 20 catches in his first year. And I know like Tyler's on his way out and everything, but I don't think Polk is so good that you need to take him this year as opposed to just addressing wide receiver next year and using that to shore up things more. And then maybe you're more interested, like when Tyler's future is more certain, taking a better receiver higher, right? Maybe next year you're cool with spending a 2nd round pick or even a first round pick on a receiver. So that is the thing that for both of you, your drafts, that doesn't sit right with me.
I think that's fair. Jeff, how about you?
For me, yours honestly feels a lot like a John Schneider draft. And that's not a good thing. I think with all the talent that was sitting there at 16 to come out with like a good meat and potatoes draft, but I think the star power is just too low. I think you could have taken. I would rather have the guys who are sitting at 16 than Barton and Cooper. And I know most people in analytics would disagree with me, but to me, if you took Verse, I think I feel better.
Yeah.
I think that reminds me of like the Jermaine Ifedi draft, but I like Barton. I think I want interior O-line. I don't think Schneider would take that player, but I think that the lack of upside is too low.
Yeah, I hate this draft. I hate it a lot. I hate it. I certainly I said that I don't think I could leave the first round without a second round pick, and I kind of went in with that mindset. But Verse and I mean, if Verse and Murphy are both there, I won't be upset if the Seahawks stick and pick. And in fact, I might have a lot of agita if they pass on those guys to trade back. And so, given that chance, I think I would probably between even those two, I think I would take Verse. I think Verse has the higher ceiling to be like a truly dominant player in the NFL, and positional value. I could debate about defensive tackle, but I think you guys are sleeping a little bit on Graham Barton. I don't know if you guys haven't looked at him, but he could end up being significantly better than Fautanu as a guard. And he is the top center prospect with JP Jackson's Powers, whatever his name is. Anyway,
Yeah.
But you effectively traded Verse for Barton and Cooper. Like
yes.
all your machinations, that's where it got you, and it
Yes.
doesn't feel. Now,
No.
I think you got unlucky with the Junior Colton thing.
Yeah, me too.
But even then, I don't know how I feel about Murphy or Verse for Barton.
Yeah, that's the other thing I didn't like is I think the draft gods pissed on my parade a little bit. You guys
Both times.
You guys got
Both
better
spots.
trade karma than I did. I had to like give up the farm to move down like a couple spots.
That's true.
But it is what it is. I mean, you never know. And the truth is, John Schneider's tried to move down in recent years and has not found a trade partner. If you don't think he was trying to move down at 21 last year, I beg to differ. If you don't think he was trying to move down, well, I guess it sounds like they weren't at the top of the second round with Derek Hall. I was begging them to move down from the Derek Hall pick, and they stuck. And I think that was one of the worst decisions they've made in 14 years. Like, I thought it was awful if they did have offers. So, but sometimes there's just not another team that wants to trade. So you got to deal with what you got. Let's call it there, because I could do this all night, and we will do more of these. This was just episode 1 of Mock Draft Madness. What did you guys learn? What did you kind of walk away with tonight, or from this set of mock drafts? Any new feelings? Any new players? Any new strategies? Jeff, go first.
There's a really tough balance that the Seahawks have to weigh here. And we've talked about the need to move down, and it's apparent given the gap. But big picture, the issue with their roster is they have a lot of good players and they don't have a lot of great players. And the thing that's tough to swallow, I know we got Murphy and some of these guys later. How do you pass on, with all those quarterbacks going at the top, how are you passing on a top 10 player on a team that doesn't have blue chip talent just to get a second round pick? And that's the thing I'm kind of stuck on every time. I worry I end up in a situation like Brian just did, where you got the picks, the value, but you're left not getting those blue chip players. And that's where this roster is really deficient, outside of really Witherspoon, maybe DK. I think I'd start to lean, maybe you just trade down a little bit like Nathan did. Maybe not so much focus on that second round as much, and try to get one of those top 20 players, because for this team to progress, they need great players, and they certainly didn't get any in free agency. So I don't think you want to build a team with just full of depth. I think they need to hit on first round guys, and that's what put this team in this hole in the first place.
I think that is incredibly well said. Nathan, any observations from you?
I mean, we should probably do one of these where we just say wherever they actually go in the simulator, like Byron Murphy, Jared Verse, Olu, like those guys are not going to be there at 16 even, let alone trading down and still getting them. And then beyond that, I think the thing that's going to be really critical for Seattle is like just identifying the pockets where they can trade into. and get guys at positions of need. Like this draft feels weirdly like it feels like there's big drop-offs. And depending on which simulator you're using, the drop-off changes by position. Like some of them linebackers last a long time, some of them guards last a long time, and then other positions don't. Whatever the reality of it is, I think they're going to have to be really good at finding those spots. And because otherwise it does feel like a draft where it's like, oh no, that position's gone now, and it's the 4th round. Like, oh, we're not drafting any safeties now, they're all gone, right? And so it's just like that seems really important.
Yeah, I think that's a great call out as well. My major observation is all these simulators suck. I mean, they're like last year, I felt like the PFF sim was pretty helpful and there was some crazy stuff in it, but for the most part, it was pretty decent. This year, I mean, the rankings are just way off and weird, and there was definitely a lot of weird stuff going on in this one that we used. I've used all of them. I find all of them to be really flawed in different ways, but I will not repeat what you guys both just said, but I think that this notion of hunting blue chip players versus addressing gaps in your roster, the goal of free agency is to get into the draft and not have clear gaps on your roster so that you can just surf the wave. The Seahawks haven't done that. They have absolutely fucked themselves at the guard position. I think they are absolutely fucked there. They are also pretty fucked at linebacker. Like, I'm not convinced Dodson and Baker are play next to each other kinds of linebackers. And so I think everyone's thinking, oh, they got 2 linebackers and they replaced Bobby and Jordan. I don't think that's necessarily the case. And so I think you've got 2 critical gaps. And then I think you could also argue safety is, like, in any kind of roster building over a multi-year period, you're looking at safety as a pretty big gap as well. So it was so easy to just get one of these guards and then not have to be beholden to this draft in this way. They didn't do it. And now they're going to be reaching. And linebacker, they're going to be reaching. And so I think that could end up screwing them the way it screwed me in this last mock. So that's kind of like, with free agency largely behind us, this team will enter the draft needing a guard, linebacker, safety, tight end. Like, not like would be nice to get, but they need to exit the draft with those positions. That's not a great situation to be in. So, all right. With that, I want to thank Nathan Ernst at Nathan11. His audio today was just buttery smooth, and I just think we just should all take a moment to thank Nathan for making his upgrades. Nathan, thanks for joining. And then Jeff Simmons at Real Jeff Simmons. His audio was as shitty as it always is. So we know what to expect from our Canadian brethren, and that's okay.
You just got a Best Buy here for the first time.
Oh, really?
No, I'm fucking with you. No,
that's really kind of confusing.
I'm completely like, that's not true at all. Toronto's a pretty big city.
Yeah. I think Best Buy opening any new stores would probably be the most confusing part of that story. I'm Brian Emhauser. You can find me on Twitter at HawkBlogger. And if you haven't already, please give the show a like, click subscribe, click the bell to get notified, because you don't know when we're going to do these. And if you haven't already, join up as a YouTube member. $2.99 gets you in, and we'll get you access to some of this stuff. We've got multiple tiers. You can join and be part of the party. Or patreon.com/hawkblogger. We're going to do our best to have all the same access that we can for Patreon members. Not everything matches up, but we will do our best. You get instant access to the Slack channel on Patreon, and we're going to start doing some Patreon-only shows. So there will be patron benefits. Please join and support the show. Until next time, I'm Brian Emhauser. Take care. Have a great rest of your night.